It is simply the direct experiencing of experience. Whatever taste, whatever texture, whatever sensation, whatever feeling. We are so intimate with it that there is no longer a self. There is no longer an inside or an outside. If you examine it clearly, in that intimacy, you can't actually locate an inside my body or an outside my body. It is pure experience, naked experience. This may sound complicated to the self, that we have to perform some kind of acrobatics, spiritual acrobatics, or mental, intellectual acrobatics. But it is not. It is so simple. It is so direct. It's what you were, how you were, and how you experienced when you were a baby. But we simply overlay our experience with mental constructs. And those mental constructs, they are functional because they allow us to communicate our experience, to understand our experience, and to function in the three-dimensional world. But we have given we have given so much allegiance to those mental constructs, the descriptions and narratives that we overlay on our experience, that we have forgotten the purity, the simplicity of naked experience. We are simply returning to that purity, to that innocence, which is always available to us when we stop giving our allegiance to all the overlays, all the meanings that we assign to our experience. I experience this, it means I'm not good enough. It means I'm a failure. It means this, it means that. What if it was just pure experience, just as it is, naked? The direct felt sense, that's what it means. It cuts through thought, it cuts through emotion, it even cuts through sensation. It becomes a fluid, undulating, vibrational field that is like a ripple on the surface of the open field of awareness. We can also call it the open field of beingness, which never changes. It hasn't changed since the moment you were born, and it won't change till the moment that you die. Everything else is what you think of as your condition. But this is only the personhood being concerned with the personhood. It's the personhood that is concerned with whether it's having a good life or a bad life, whether it's missed an opportunity or whether it's achieved whatever its dream or goal has been. And whilst, yes, we must digest and reflect upon our human experience, if you want true freedom, true peace, and truth, the truth of what is here, then there must be some divesting of interest in the personhood. Which is why I say, well, perhaps it will always be like this. What you call anxiety, or what you call, I don't know, anything you can label. Perhaps it will always be an energetic experience, a taste. But when the personhood is unconcerned about it, then it's no longer such a problem. We can ask another question right here, which is, who would you be without the story of not good enough? Who would you be without the story of worthlessness? Who would you be without the story that I've done something wrong, shame, guilt? Who would you be? Not as a replacement personhood, Will I be a happier person or a more successful person? Or no, not from the perspective of the personhood. What I'm really asking here, what remains? What will be here as your direct experience if you are divested of those beliefs that are not real, that are not based in any truth? They're not based in the fact of the matter, which can only be known now and now and now. What would remain? Because if you really examine that, that's a death of everything that you know. That's a death of a whole conglomerate upon which you stand and gives you some sense of self. But whilst it gives a sense of self, some kind of security, some kind of safety because it's known, it's also the prison. It's the limitation. Who would you be without that? And is it possible to even answer that? Because it's not a question that requires an answer, because only the personhood can answer it, and we're not asking the personhood. The question is an invitation to the unknown, to not knowing, and the willingness to die into that and discover what remains. When the self is divested of all its beliefs about itself. What if you don't know? You really don't know. You have no knowing of whether your life is a failure or a success, whether you are wrong or whether you are right, whether you are worthy or whether you are unworthy. What if you really didn't know? Because we think we know. Yes, I am unworthy. I am lacking, and so on. But that knowing is a false safety net. What if we divested ourselves of all safety nets? Because that's really what a frequency shift is. It's actually an inner paradigm shift that doesn't come from replacing beliefs with a different set of beliefs. It's something radical. It's a free fall into the unknown. And the self doesn't like that. And yet it yearns for that freedom. The entry point is the direct experience. Not the description or narrative about the experience.